a secret storm. They're jealous of the car you're driving, not knowing that it's 2 payments behind. They're envious of the position that you were promoted to, not knowing that now that you're promoted into that position, you can't even rest at night. You can't even sleep at night. You got so much pressure, so much responsibility on you. And all of a sudden you're in a storm and nobody even knows it. And when we get in a storm, we have a tendency to wonder, where is God? Job said, I looked for him. He was there a minute ago, but now I can't find him. I looked on the right side and I couldn't find him. I looked on the left side and see God in the storm. Because we buy into this notion that if God was with us, we would have no storm. That if God were really with us, we would be happy. That if God were really with us, everything would go smoothly. That if God were really on our side, we would have no family problems. If God were really with us, our bills would be paid. How could God be with us and us be in foreclosure? How? Job said, I can't figure it out. How could my kid die and God be with me? How could my house be on fire and God be with me? I looked for him. I looked for him. I didn't see him. I didn't see him. I looked on the right. I didn't see him. I looked behind me. I didn't. You said you had my back. I didn't see him. I looked in front of me. I thought he'd lead the way. I didn't see him. But you cannot see in a storm. That's why he told you to walk by faith and not by sight. You cannot see in a storm. Don't look for God to be sensual in your storm. He will not appeal to your senses. Your senses add to your comfort. God will not make you comfortable in your storm. But just because you are in the presence of a storm, the storm does not negate the presence of God, nor does it indicate the absence of God. In fact, if you really want to see God do his best work, get in trouble. I know you think God does his best work when you're dancing in the church and you're clapping and you're raising your hands and all of that stuff. No. I know that God visits your praise. The Bible said he inhabits the praises of Israel. I understand that God visits your praise. But if you want to know where God lives, he lives in trouble. The Bible said he is a very, very present help in the time of trouble. If you're looking for God, he's in the storm. He may not be saying anything, Peter. You may find him asleep on the boat in the bottom of the ship, but don't think that he jumped off the boat because you were in a storm. He is with you in the storm. He promised. He promised to be with you. I'm going to tell you something about the promises of God. Anytime God promises you something, get ready for trouble. I know you haven't heard it taught that way, but I'm going to rock your world this morning. Anytime God promises you something, get ready for trouble. I never promise the obvious. I never promise the obvious. You never promise the obvious. You give a promise when you know that something is going to come to make you doubt. If I write Michael a check, the check is a promise. He cannot spend it, but it is a promise that the money is behind it. Whenever God promises promises you something. He says, you may not have it in your sensual realm right now, but I promise you. Good God. Did he promise you anything? I heard him myself. I heard him myself. I heard him when he said, he promised me, when you pass through the water, I'll be with you. He wouldn't have said that if his presence was apparent, because you never promised the obvious. He said, but when you pass through the water, you got my word on it. I am in there with you. You may not see me. You may not feel me. You may not sense me. But I tell you what, all the while you're stroking in the water, understand you are not stroking by yourself. Don't be so aware of the storm that you lose awareness of the God in the storm. From the early church, they were physically capturing Christians, crucifying them upside down and throwing them into snake pits. And we don't see that happening today. But he's snatching us another way. He's snatching us mentally, snatching us emotionally, snatching us with pressure, snatching us with stress, and we are dying. We are being crucified while people look right at us and they cannot see the nails. Have you ever been tortured right in front of people and they didn't even know it? Nobody knows the trouble I see. Nobody knows but Jesus. That's the loneliness. Shh, nobody knows. Secret warfare. Paul said, I'm not coming. I'm not coming. I'm gonna write you a letter, but I'm not coming. Because this time I am pressed above measure and beyond strength. Do you know how much courage it took for him as an apostle to tell you the apostle is suicidal? The apostle doesn't want to leave. 7 pastors that I know of committed suicide last year. See, it's hard to be everybody's hero all the time. You might not be a pastor, but in your family, in your life, amongst your kids, amongst your friends, you are the one that everybody looks to fix everything, never thinking for one moment that your hero is human. That your hero, I'm preaching to somebody, I don't know, pray with me a minute, that your hero, are there any human heroes in here? Is there anybody in here that gets sick and tired of always being on duty? I'm going to tell you how bad it is. The man that we call Legion in the Bible, who was cutting himself in the tomb, whatever demonic influence was attacking him, it was so strong, but I respect the man. I know he cut himself. I know he stripped himself naked. I know he dwelt amongst dead people. I know he was kind of weird and kind of freaky, but I respect him because when Jesus cast the demons out and it went into a herd of swine, a whole herd couldn't handle what this man was dealing with on the inside. The entire herd ran to the water and killed himself. At least he was still here. He was under pressure, but he was still here. He had stripped himself naked, but he was still. Touch somebody and say, I'm still here. Pressure comes when there is no release. When things have more ways to get in than they have ways to get out, it creates pressure. When you got more coming at you than you got more coming from you, it creates pressure. When you are feeding more than people are feeding you, it creates pressure. Oh, I'm going to bring it right where you can get it. All you got to do to create pressure is to block my ability to release what you're putting on me, and over time, I will build up pressure. Look at how many people you got looking to you, and then count how many you got given to you. How many people are giving as much as they are taking? And you are up under pressure. And then there is the pressure that comes from the guilt of being under pressure. The guilt of being inadequate, of not being enough for all you took on. The guilt from being tired. The guilt from being empty. The guilt of being beyond strength. In the original language, it is ek dunamis, out of power. I don't have no more. So when you are a giver, after you have given, there is a depletion that is inherent in being a giver, that you have to absorb the collateral damage of always being available to other people. Can I drop some real stuff on you this morning? So the more opulent, effusive, effective somebody is, the more empty they become. See? My Jeep, it's full of gas right now. My Jeep is full of gas right now. You know why it's full? Nobody drove it this week. The more you drive it, the emptier it gets. If you've been drove hard, you're empty. And the problem with you is you know how to work better than you know how to cry for help. And you can literally burn up around people who love you. It's not that they don't love you. They would never imagine that the apostle could be tired. Not mama. Mama could, that's just how mama is. Mama just like, you know how mama is. She just, see, when you're good at whatever you do, one of the ways you know you're good is when people take you for granted. David said, no man cared for my soul. They care for my talent. They care for my money. They care for my work ethic, or whatever it is people care for you for. But do you care?
When Jesus says yes, nobody can say no. It's 101.7 FM, your gospel music station.
Stay no longer with you. Goodbye, pleasure. right in Jesus' name. This train, oh, this train is bound for glory, glory, glory. This train is bound for glory. My Lord, this train is bound for glory. Ain't carry nothing but the pure and the holy. This train, yeah. See, I can see. I can see.
gospel exposure. WGEM 101.7 FM.
Calling all international and global praise and worship warriors. Jesus hot for the Father, hot for the Son, hot for the Holy Ghost. Christians, let's go! Mind on fire, my soul on fire. Jesus hot, hot, hot. Christian people, all around me. Jesus hot, hot, hot. What to do with a Christ like this? Jesus sweet, I can't resist. We need a word from God, and Jesus is the Lord. So let the Holy Spirit come. Let the Holy Spirit come. Alle, alle, alleluia. Alle, alle, alleluia. Jesus hot, hot, hot. Jesus hot, hot, hot. Mind on fire, my soul on fire. Jesus hot, hot, hot. Christian people, all around me. Jesus hot, hot, hot. What to do with a Christ like this? Jesus sweet, I can't resist. We need a word from God, and Jesus is the Lord. So let the Holy Spirit come. Let the Holy Spirit come. Jesus hot, hot, hot. Jesus hot, hot, hot. Alle, alle, alleluia. Alle, alle, alleluia. Jesus hot, hot, hot. Jesus hot, hot, hot. Alle, alle, alleluia. Alle, alle, alleluia. Jesus hot, hot, hot. Jesus hot, hot, hot. One, get ready to go. Two, get ready to go. Three, get ready to go. Four, get ready to go. One, two, Father, Son, and Holy Ghost.
Fire, fire, hot like fire.
Mind on fire, my soul on fire. Jesus hot, hot, hot. Christian people, all around me. Jesus hot, hot, hot. What to do with a Christ like this? Jesus sweet, I can't resist. We need a word from God, and Jesus is the Lord. So let the Holy Spirit come. Let the Holy Spirit come. Alle, alle, alleluia. Alle, alle, alleluia. Jesus hot, hot, hot. Jesus hot, hot, hot. Alle, alle, alleluia. Alle, alle, alleluia. Jesus hot, hot, hot. Jesus hot, hot, hot. Jesus hot, hot, hot.
When Jesus says yes, nobody can say no. It's 101.7 FM, your gospel music station.
Broadcasting from Frederickstead, St. Croix, 101.7 FM.